Welcome to another amazing episode of Now Behind the Brands, an Evolution Media podcast.
3 words, just be nice. No selling. You will never hear an elevator pitch in our world, ever.
If you introduce people that you know will work well together, someone will go ring you up and go, I was told to talk to you about it,
And it can be months or years later.
And it is that. It just always comes back.
Networking for me is, at its purest, is if I know you and I like you, then anything I know or anybody I know, you can have it for free. It will just come around.
I think the numbers thing is really important in business, and it's hard. It's easier, like when you get less discipline when you're making lots of money.
I tend not to connect with anybody that I don't know unless there's a note with it.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
Sounds pompous, but every now and then I'll get curious.
Hi and welcome to another amazing episode of Behind the Brands, and today we have none other than John Harvey from Samphire Club.
Thank you very much. Whoop, whoop. It's lovely to be here. Thank you for having me.
That's probably the most energy I've ever done on an intro. You should be honoured.
Oh my God.
I'm normally do it like this. Hi.
Bloody speechless, mate. Which probably wouldn't be helpful.
No. So thanks for coming in. Finally, we get to meet. We were just saying, we've never met.
Coming.
Yeah.
Long time
never
coming.
met. But I hear a lot about you from various people.
I deny everything.
Is it not all true?
I what can I say? No comments.
Yeah. But there seems to be, you seem to be the networking guru in these parts. You're apparently the guy to go to meet other people. And I think that's quite an accolade for someone. I haven't heard of anyone else having that accolade. So,
Do you know, I love the term guru because it means teacher as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people will say that. I would normally phrase it. I met a solicitor this morning at an event who was a trainee, so a young one. And she was saying, what do you do? And I go, I kind of know people. But I said, on a serious note, if professional networking came up in a conversation in the Southwest, my name would probably be in the mix. At the risk of sounding like a prick.
No, I can vouch.
Yeah, everything that I'm about to say will sound a bit dicky, sorry.
No, but it's true. I think you're legit, because it's, like we relocated. I mean, I've had a business in the Southwest for probably the last 8 years in some form or another, but relocated the agency to here. So Evolution Media obviously moved here 3 years ago, 2 years ago.
Go 2.
And I went, we need to really get to know the local businesses. So let's try and build our network up.
Yeah.
And when you start doing that, people start to mention you.
Oh, okay.
And
really?
So, so like they're like, you should definitely speak to John. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then we've been at an event at the same time together, which was the last
Business Fest.
What,
the
show?
The show, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I think you were there floating around. I do remember seeing you.
I had this horrible little picnic table in the
That was
networking, which was just not what I was promised.
You don't seem very pleased about that.
That's right. We're over it now. And I was speaker. I spoke on the big stage, barefoot.
Yeah. Is that your thing? You do that barefoot?
Yeah.
All right, cool. But there was definitely, so that's kind of my first, I guess, didn't speak to you directly, but knew you were there.
Yeah,
so I know known of you for a little while.
Right.
And then I talked to people like Barbacoa, Joe, who we mentioned, and others, and they all go, yeah, you should like really speak to. So I'm probably a bit behind the curve, really. But I'm speaking to you now. So
Here we are.
We're already here, aren't we?
And our stand is opposite your lounge this year at BizFest
So I'll definitely come
Southwest.
and see you.
Shout out for BizFest,
yes.
April the 1st. Jamie and Gavin, you owe us all now, okay?
Yeah, they do. We've done enough promotion of them, I think. They need to give us free stand space, I think.
Yeah.
But no, it was good to meet you. And obviously, I'm fascinated with, because all I've done is look online, see you, and see a little bit about you. And I've gone, well, how's he built this network? Because that's an interesting thing to do. Yeah. So I wondered if you can give me a little bit of insight of like how that all started.
Potted history. Worked in London for 20 years.
Right.
Sales, BD, international courier, FedEx, DHL, that world. And to be fair, this is in the 80s and 90s. We didn't call it networking. We called it schmoozing.
Schmoozing.
And anyone who was in the London in the 80s, you have that knowing look, because people go, John, was it really? I said, well, look, think about it. There's no internet, no phones. It was wild.
Yeah, it's got to have been, yeah.
It was just, it was fun.
Yeah.
And that's what's missing these days. It was really fun. You worked hard and you played really hard, but you got the work done.
Yeah.
And I was based in the West End, so I was Soho. So yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, you would have had a lot of fun. Yeah,
I had a lot of fun. I went to the Cannes Film Festival and things like that. Yeah. Anyway,
very like Mad Men.
Yeah, it sounds very dicky. So I did that. Then I got married, got divorced, almost that quickly actually, but moved back to Cornwall, which is where I'm from originally, and was working down in Cornwall. Sorry, doing the same thing, and I ended up for a small family company. But down there, that's where I first came across this term networking.
yeah.
Never heard of it, and they were obsessed with it. And Cornwall's a village. Everybody knows
Yeah.
Cornwall.
Yeah.
And I got involved with the Cornwall Chamber of Commerce, and that's where I learnt what networking is. With hindsight, we were doing it anyway, but I read books on the subject. I thought, I really like this. This is really cool.
Yeah. So you just got, that's kind of, so you
So
started BD and
Yeah.
then just having fun in London and meeting lots of people,
Yeah.
probably.
And then in Cornwall, I had this job where I was paid to network pretty much.
Really? That's a
was
good job
great.
as
That's
well.
cool.
Car, expense account, you're not allowed in the office. All the work comes via you. Just go out and so I had to occupy myself. So, I mean, I would go to the opening of an envelope in those days in Cornwall. And it became a joke. People would go on LinkedIn, I was at an event, John wasn't there, is he alive?
Something
And I
happened.
would come back with, if you're at an event and I'm not there, you're at the wrong event.
Yeah.
Hashtag just saying. I got really silly. But it was really fun. And that job came to an end and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And people went, John, you should monetize it. You know everybody. It's really valuable. And I went, well, yeah, but how? Because to this day, networking for me is, at its purest, is if I know you and I like you, then anything I know or anybody I know, you can have it for free. It will just come around.
Yeah.
So I don't take an introduce fee. If I introduce you to somebody like Barbacoa and you end up doing lots of work together, I don't take a cut from that.
Yeah.
I'll probably come back and go, guys, can I have a video testimonial? You're welcome.
Yeah, of
yeah.
course.
But that's nice. And they went, where's the best networking in Cornwall? And I went, that's a different question. And I'm a chairman of the Members' Council of the Chamber of Commerce. I said, and it'll never be at the Chamber. I said, you don't get, the people want to see are business owners, high net worth individuals. They're time poor. They're too busy to go there.
Yeah.
And they go, do they? I said, yeah, they do network, but you would never know unless you're in the room. And they go, oh, how would you do that? And I went, private members club, probably.
Yeah.
Vis-a-vis your media people, Soho House.
Yeah.
I was one of the very early members when it first opened. And if you can build something like that model where people know what it is, they're intrigued, and they think, oh, that looks really cool. I want to join that. And then crucially, and this is the key point, you can't join. So if you go on the Samphire website, I don't know if you have, but there is no sign up there anywhere. And people will follow me and they'll hear about it and they'll come to me and go, John, how do you sign up when you can't? You have to start with me. It's a conversation. They go, vetting.
Yeah.
And I go, yeah, horrible word. We just, the All Black rugby team have this thing called a no dickhead policy. we borrowed that.
Yeah.
No dickhead. So Samphire is built on a culture of 3 words. Just be nice. No selling. You will never hear an elevator pitch in our world, ever. And it's self-policing. The members would jump all over you. There we go.
Yeah, you're not going there to start
Yeah.
having
No,
that
it's relationship building.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I find that you do, with my experience in networking, is if you give value first, if you introduce people that you know will work well together rather than look for what you'll get, at some point it always comes back round.
Always does.
Yeah.
And you find, someone will ring you up and go, I was told to talk to you about it. And
Yes.
and that's really the right way to
And it
go
can
about
be
it.
months or years later.
It can be years later.
Yeah.
We definitely do a lot of that, don't we? Like just helping people out and being nice and going above and beyond. And it is that. It just always comes back and you'll get repaid at some point and you just have to trust it.
And I think there's that concept, it's known as giver's gain in
Yes.
my world. And it's true. Just give it away. Just give it away. And it does get easier with time.
Yeah.
I've been networking. Samphire's going to be 10 this year.
Wow. Congratulations.
And then if you
Nice.
throw in
When this year, do you know?
April.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, that's a miracle in itself.
Yeah.
You know.
Because obviously in 10 years, the landscape of probably networking has changed quite a lot as well.
Yeah.
Especially in Southwest. And
Yeah.
it's constantly changing.
Yeah.
New things appear all the time. Things die out. And it's easy to get, especially in the early days of Samphire, I would get really spooked if another group started. I get really paranoid. I think nowadays it's just professionally curious.
Yeah.
But it's no one, we're going to sound dicky again here, but no one can replicate what you do.
No.
Stay in your lane,
Yes.
just do what you do, and just be nice.
Yeah. It is hard though, isn't it, when someone else pops up because you are curious
And
how they
it does
work.
happen when people, and not just in my world, but people will pop up and they will have borrowed, loosely, borrowed your training course or something.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
Yes.
And you just think, one, be flattered, and two, I would probably call them out and go, I have no problem if you want to borrow my material, but just ask first.
Yeah, or acknowledge, or
Yeah.
like
You
give
know.
you credit as well.
Yes,
Like I've taken
you know.
this from a very
Yeah.
known person. That
Yeah.
I think it's easy to do that. We all learned something along the way to know what we know, right? But it's crediting people back and saying, right, okay,
There are very few
Yes.
original ideas.
there's none.
We're all borrowing stuff from
Yeah.
people.
Even when we say something that we think sounds very interesting, very
Yeah.
intellectual, we
Yeah.
probably have heard it somewhere else in another form.
Absolutely.
I'll quote people all the time. Like I'll
Yeah.
have picked something up from an event that I've been to, and
Yeah.
someone did a talk there,
Yeah.
and there was something that like really stuck with me.
Yeah.
And even if like I bring it up in a meeting with a client to explain
Yeah.
the process or whatever, I'll always go, "Oh well, I heard this at an event, and it's always stuck with me because like."
Yeah.
But
You know that it's
heard
probably
it
not
from-
your
they-
idea.
They probably heard it from
They
a
would have
person,
heard it from
yeah.
someone else. They got taught it by someone else, and they credited them as well. So
I've got an
you just
example of
naturally.
that. I was at an event in Cornwall many, many years ago, probably pre-Samphire, and this woman called Laura, I don't know, she's like a dragon person. Anyway, she was talking about, I can't remember, More Balls Than Most was the book, hard as nails. But she sort of came up with these things like the magic numbers, know the numbers.
Yeah.
And that has stuck with me, and I'll always credit her if I'm doing a talk. I'm trying to go, it's not really networking, but it's if you own a business. So we're sitting here right now. You should be able to tell me what is in your bank, how much you owe, how much you're owed, and if it stops now, how many weeks would you survive? You should know that
As a
Yeah.
business owner.
as a
yeah.
business owner.
Yeah.
And they go, Jesus, John, but you don't even use spreadsheets. I said, I don't use spreadsheets to have a laptop, but I do know those numbers.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
whatever her name, and I will always. I can't credit her on the podcast because I can't remember her name, which is Lara Stone.
Yeah.
Lara Stone,
You've done
I
it.
think.
You've got
I
it.
think so. Yeah.
I think the numbers thing is really important in business, and it's hard. It's hard.
Oh.
It's easier like when you get less discipline when you're making lots of money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So where I've had periods where I make a lot of money very fast. You're never looking at anything, and then you look at it.
We're just all having a great
No,
time.
but I'm being honest. You're having that honeymoon period. You're probably
Yeah.
I was very maybe naive and young in business, and it all happens, and you go, oh great. When you actually get into it, you start to go, well, actually, I need to look at this very closely, and knowing those numbers are really key because if you don't know them, you get caught out,
Absolutely. Also,
and
the
anyone can get caught out.
God, can't we all? Yeah. And the other thing about knowing those numbers, interestingly, is if you are talking to your bank, your accountant, etc., if you demonstrate to them that you know those numbers, it makes them very reassured.
Yeah,
I mean, my accountant
Yeah.
thinks it's hysterical that I know these numbers. And this is true. My VA, Joanne Manville, who you may have heard of, does my books and does most things.
Right.
She liaises with my accountants in Cornwall, who are two women, ex-Francis Clark. I'm not allowed a login to Xero.
really.
Genuinely.
Just they want you out of that.
I'm not allowed near it. My job is to do trip capture for the mileage and send them the receipts.
Yeah, good.
quite
Probably not good to be getting into Xero. I look at Karen who does ours, and she I feel pain every time I watch her on the screen. It's horrible, isn't it? But someone's got to.
Well, I wouldn't know. I'm not allowed to near it, so I have no idea.
Yeah, it's painful. So talk to me about the name, because the name's really interesting. Is there a particular reason
No.
you just picked a word?
I had a friend, marketing friend in Cornwall when I set it up, who did a website for me, a basic website, as a favour. And she phoned me and said, John, we're going to send you a list of words, but I don't want you to study it. I just want you to glance at it, and if anything leaps out. And so I did what I was told, and I phoned her up and I went, Samphire, and she went, interesting, why? And I went, I don't know. She said, do you even know what it is? I went, yeah, it's a sea vegetable. I know exactly what it is. And she went, do you know what? That's really spooky because that's our favourite. We've already mocked up the
Really?
logo. I went, you are joking.
Wow.
She said, if you like it and let us use it, we will let... I had a blog called Canapés and Conversations, Diary of a Cornish Networker. She said, we'll let you keep canapés and conversations.
That's a great
I
name.
went, okay, so I can't even claim credit for the name.
But the name
That's
actually,
quite a good way to do
but
it.
the name
though.
actually sounds quite premium.
It does, doesn't
Yes.
it?
Yeah, it
Thank
sounds.
you.
I don't know why it does.
No,
it just sounds very premium.
Yeah, and we do like to consider Samphire. I would always, try and project it as it's a premium brand.
Yeah,
Think
Yeah.
Stella Artois, reassuringly
Yeah.
expensive.
yeah, good. I like that. So you've done obviously bits of writing, a lot of writing by the sounds of it over the years, and you put together. Well, you're not writing it yourself, or what's the
What?
books? And
Oh, I wrote a
things?
book.
Yeah,
No, I did write
you
a
actually
book.
wrote the book.
I wrote it in lockdown.
Yeah?
Yes, I did, actually.
And what was that experience like?
Writing a book. It was really interesting. I had been referred to a business publisher in Bristol. Shout out Sue. What's going on with me? Brainstorm. She's going to kill me. The really useful book company in Bristol. Sue.
It'll come to you in a minute.
It'll come to me.
We'll credit
Sue,
you.
forgive me. Can you do it in the edit?
Yeah.
Thank Christ. And she said, da da da. And it'd been parked for a while because I just didn't know what I wanted to do it about. Because I've said to her, there's too many books on networking already. We don't need another one. And then in the end, I went, actually, it is going to be about networking, but it's going to be my life before networking, now my life now, and how it's changed. And she went, John, that's your book. Very good. And then nothing happened. And then she was one of the first calls I had in lockdown. She went, John, you've got until October. I want it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Here's a tip for you. Write for 1 hour every day. Don't try and get it all down. Just get in the habit, write it, send it to us, and then we will... And then it's an interesting process because then they copy read it all, and then they send it back to you with huge chunks omitted going repetition.
Yeah.
So your word count's shrinking in front of you going... but once you get past that, then it goes into production, and then that's quite interesting. They're talking about what size, what's the cover look like, da 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 da.
Really?
So yeah, it was really interesting.
So it kept you busy in lockdown. How long did it take you to do it in total? Do you remember?
About 3 months.
3 months.
But it wasn't like I didn't know. It wasn't. I've got to
You
think
had
about
it
what to
already.
write. I knew.
You'd been thinking about it.
It was just about regurgitating it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Getting it all
And
down
it
on
was never
paper.
going to be a really thick, dry tome on this is how to network. It was like a bit about me, but it should be that you can have it in your satchel or your bag at an event, and you think, I'm bored shitless. What would John do? Hang on.
Yeah.
Check emails. Okay, yeah, zone out. Yep. Send messages to other people in the audience going, this speaker's shit, needs help.
So what's your schedule look like now? Are you still as active as ever at events, or are you still? Is there like a change in the way that you now operate versus where you would have been?
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally. I burnt out in year 1 really badly.
Yeah.
But end of 2000...
That's quite normal, by the way, as well.
Yeah.
That's a horrible
I
period.
ended up on my sofa dribbling.
It's vile, isn't it?
And at the end of year 1, I was working with this coach and he took me out for lunch. He said, you survived year 1. Well done. How do you feel? I went, I just want to walk away. I'd bite your hand off. I hate this. And he went, just see if anyone renews. And then they did. And he went, it's real now, so you need to sort of buckle up.
Yeah.
But at the end of 2024, I was really burnt out. Again, I was stretching myself too thin, and I was doing stuff up in Bristol. I was trying to keep Cornwall happy. And I really got burnt out. And I really wanted to walk away. And I had a rest that Christmas. And I sat down with my present coach, shout out to John Murcott, and between Christmas and New Year, and he went, John, you look better. And I went, yeah, I've caught up on sleep. He said, what have you come up with? And I went, I'm stretched too thin. I said, I am here, there, and everywhere. I said, 90% of our members are in Devon and Somerset, so I don't know why I'm going up to Bristol all the time. It's fun. And he went, okay. And I said to him, John, what's the most useful... He's also called John. What's the most useful thing I can give to a member? And he went, easy, one-on-one time with you. I went, yeah. And what can I give them? I'm always busy on the road.
Yeah.
I said, so I'm going to shrink it, and I'm just going to do Devon and Somerset, free up time for members. And now we do, I can rinse and repeat. I hate that phrase, but for me to schedule my month, we have to figure in an event at the Pig at Combe, an evening drinks at the Ivy, which we did last night, Runwell Farm Shop outside Taunton, which I do with Portia Dodson, Torbay, I go down there for 2-3 days, and Plymouth.
Yeah.
And I go to Cornwall, because I've got a house in Cornwall. I go down there probably 2 weekends in a month. So if I'm going down, I'll just say to the Cornish lot, I'm around for 2 days.
Yeah.
So for instance, I think it was last week, I was down for 3 days. We just organised a dinner in Truro and a breakfast, but much more low-key, ad-lib, it's just like, I'm in town. Who's coming out for dinner?
So what's your typical, when you say one-on-one time with members, do you have a process you go through with your members or, specifically? Because I guess they've all got kind of different things going on. And it changes a lot, I reckon.
Absolutely. So I will sit them down when they first join. It's part of the onboarding. but I'll sit them down and say, look, let's spend an hour or however long you need. An hour is probably enough.
Yeah.
But you are about to pay me a subscription for a year's membership. What does that look like for you? What would you like to happen in that year? And what we will come up with is a plan for you. Completely unique. I say, because everyone's different. Some people will be, well, actually, it's BD. I want introductions. So, and that's easy for me. That's just like, boom, boom, boom. Others are like, John, I want to do this event because I want to promote something. I need a venue, and I said, fine, we'll curate an event together. So it varies, but we end up with some, probably about 3 or 4 bullet points. And then it's how often do we need to reconvene?
Because it might be like...
It can't be more than once a month, because that's not doable.
Yeah.
But you have regular reviews during the year, and you just tick them off and go, okay, look, we still haven't done these 2. We're going into quarter 3. Are we doing this? And also, as you mentioned, things change and they go, no, John, that's parked. Forget that. Fine. Let's revisit that next year. And then when it comes up to renewal, rather than, what on earth have I had? I mean, I've had some fun.
Yeah.
And also it holds me accountable. I can then, sounds pompous, but I can then really affect change.
Yeah.
And sometimes... Often it's introductions. Most people know who they want to get in front of.
Yeah, they've got an idea. Yeah.
They know, and that's good. They've identified. I said, bring me your wish list.
Yeah.
And it'll be like, okay, And they went, then they'll go, John, I've emailed them.
Yeah.
And I went, do you know them? And they went, no. And I went, it's not opened. It'll be deleted. And I went, seriously? And I went, yes.
Well, yeah, because you get so many emails.
Oh my God, who was it?
And everyone gets really offended when you haven't opened their email. They're like, well, fuck.
Last week, I was talking to someone important, and he gets about 400 a day.
Yeah.
It's not surprising at all,
and I said, how many did you read? And he went, well, I don't know, about 6.
You can skim through your emails. And
his
there's
VA gatekeeps. He'll flag. He'll go, I literally skid and I delete everything.
Yeah.
Because if it's important, they'll have my mobile number.
They will ring.
Yeah.
And they will text me.
Yeah.
And then he went, John, well, back at you. How would you get hold of me in a hurry? I went, you're right. I would send you a text going, need to talk, urgent, need to talk. Yeah.
I think when you know people better,
a
lot of people I know well will message me.
Yeah.
They won't email me.
No.
Because they just want, they've got that connection to me. And me to them, so we can email and we can message.
I think it's something to do with a new connection of yours, whether it be a client or anybody. Is go, what is the best way to get hold of you? Because everybody has different preferences.
People are weird, aren't they?
Some people go, get me a message on LinkedIn. Some people go, send me an email going, seriously? You're kidding? Okay.
LinkedIn's a hard one to keep on top of because you get a lot of emails, don't you, now from all sorts of people.
So much that comes through.
I can't
I don't tend
and I know
to get
if I don't go back
actually.
on it, I can't trigger myself to remember that I might read it and go, well, actually, that's interesting. And
I tend not to connect with anybody that I don't know unless there's a note with it.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah,
sounds
makes
pompous,
sense.
but every now and then,
because it gives you value.
Curious.
It gives you value as well, doesn't it? It gives you because I guess like when people actually connect, they know that you're actually going to probably talk potentially, which is really what it's for.
Some people do a very like scattergun approach with it, don't they? And it just
have you seen? There's been this. Have you noticed? It's sort of becoming a bit more Facebooky.
Yeah.
There's a lot of personal stuff going on, and I just read it and think, I'm sure this isn't the platform. This doesn't feel right to me. I don't know. And then they would reply, well, we're being authentic. It's like, okay.
But I think you can be authentic in a business setting.
I don't like the one thing that I always point out is people who try and talk about how well they're doing.
We talk about this all the time, don't we?
It's so not good.
No,
like,
it's not.
you know,
But you
I've
instantly
absolutely
question
done
it.
amazing today. I've sold another whatever million and done this and done. You're like, really, no one really wants to hear that.
Yeah. No, in 3 words, trying too hard.
Yeah.
And also, it's probably crap.
It's probably not true.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you think people in that scenario probably won't be the people who would post that stuff. So it's kind of a bit worrying.
Because if you're doing really well...
You don't speak about it.
Well, like,
No, you don't feel the need to, do you?
Like Joe at Barbacoa next door, you know,
Yeah.
he's a hidden gem.
Yeah, he is. He's a good guy. I really
He's
like
a lovely
him.
guy, but it's like, if you know, you know.
He brought me some beers earlier.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, yesterday. I must thank him actually because he brought a crate of beer over. I think we lent him some equipment and he was very generous and gave me a crate.
I'm seeing him tomorrow.
And they were really good beers actually. They were a mixture of different things, so I thought they were quite nice. But yeah, he's a good lad. And he, like he said, he mentioned you when I spoke to him last on message.
I'm trying to remember how. No, he followed me on LinkedIn for a while and then reached out. And it's really interesting because he does high-end kitchens, for listeners who don't know, outdoor kitchens. And of course, the people he needs to meet will be wealthy people. And it's who knows those people? Architects, rib boat people, you know, watch.
Yeah.
You think actually, and
Is that how you? Is that so? That's
how my mind
That's
works.
really interesting how you think then. Yeah, because I was going to say there is with this networking group that you have and the way that you're managing your sort of club members or whatever you like to call them.
My followers.
You almost meant
my tribe.
Your
my
tribe.
My people.
Your crew. But
You need to come up with like a cool, quirky name for them.
Yeah, like
The believers.
the believers. That's a good one. But you're almost giving them. You are giving them business coaching.
Yes.
Yes.
You are mentoring their business.
It makes me really uncomfortable. What is a business coach? Da, 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 da. But a lot of what I do is just sounding board.
Yeah.
And people go, John, I need to meet you for a coffee. I've got this idea for a new service, or I've got an idea. I want to run it past you. And you're a sounding board. You just go, yeah, that's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you wanted to take that further, then my thinking is you need to speak to the following. You need to speak to them, and them. Do you know them? And they went, no, fine. I'll do the emails now. You need to sit and have a coffee. Talk to them because that would interest them.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's validation for them as well.
It's connecting dots.
So there is that is, so it's twofold really. It's that understanding, like maybe with Joe, for example, him going, oh, architects, ribboat, that makes sense. Yeah. And then obviously once you start to engage with those people, you start to get success from that. It is business coaching as well as it's finding your target market, isn't it, as well as really networking.
Yeah, that you can help with to a degree because it's these are the ideal clients I want to get in front of. Fine, who else would be dealing with them? And professional services, lawyers, banks, and accountants. They'll be clients of one of them. And they went, oh God, is that why you hang out with the professional services so much? I went, yep.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. So what's been your what's your thoughts on how networking progresses for you moving forward? Because you must have nailed a lot of the Southwest now. Are you still finding you're adding lots of new members all the time? Is that like do people come and go, or is it like you just continually build, or how does it work?
Good question. People do come and people go, so we don't. People take breaks.
Yeah.
So every month. And we just started February, haven't we? So a new month. Yes. So I have got, because my VA is great, I've been sent a list of the people that are due to renew in February.
Right.
So I have to send them all the email going, blah, 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 blah. Of those, I can look at that and have a rough idea. But if you, in percentage terms, probably 90% will, as retention, we will lose a couple.
Yeah.
Sometimes especially in the current climate, we have cash flow problems.
Yeah.
especially if they're paying us monthly, not annually, and they go, look, we're running, okay, fine. Just take a pause.
Yeah.
But don't be a stranger.
Yeah.
Come along to anything. As long as you pay your way, that's fine.
Yeah.
Or if you can't afford to pay your way, come anyway.
Yeah.
Your family. You
Yeah.
have been part of our group. You're not saying we don't like you, we don't like it.
Yeah,
And if that's the case, then piss off.
I think you've got.
But, you know,
you've got to
Yeah,
help.
you don't want those kind of people there, do
but
you?
it doesn't happen very often.
No.
No, I mean we do. We help. You know, we've definitely helped people in the past where we're working with them and they're having cash flow issues, and you say, look, I'll tell you what, look, we'll get back on track. Just to stick, especially with what we do as the agency.
Yeah.
It's you're going to have more difficulties if you're not promoting yourself and you're having cash flow issues, because that's just like a double whammy.
Yeah.
You've got no way of getting out of that hole otherwise. It's cutting their last life support really if we stop working with them.
You're
it's
so right.
You know,
and again, it comes back to that just be nice thing. You know, we all have cash flow problems. I've had cash flow problems.
Everybody does.
I'm sure I will have them again.
I think if you could do it well, you have cash flow problems. It's not just negative.
Oh,
as
that's
well.
the other thing. Yes, everyone thinks it's you running out of money. If you actually then, yes, if you're too successful. So if you were selling a product and you suddenly took in a huge order, you then don't have the cash to process that order to get it
100%.
out before you get paid. That's when you need to go and seek finance, and you should have thought that in your business plan. Shouldn't come as a nasty surprise. But I don't sell a product.
No, but life throws lots of surprises at you, doesn't it? So you're always going to have
who
that.
saw the pandemic coming? God.
Yeah, and people did really well out of it, and then people have done and had really now everyone's doing not as well because of the immediate amount of money that got.
I have, we took a bounce back loan.
Yeah.
And yes, I kicked down the can because I spoke to a lot of people at that time. Did you hear this at the time? It's like they'll never call them back in. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
They'll be written off.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
No.
It's like having a second
I don't know if I paid mine off now. I think I might have a little bit left. But not much. But I tell you what, I dragged it out. I've done the minimum payments.
Yeah.
Because the interest rate was tiny.
Oh,
and
it's
it was
free
like,
money,
it's like,
essentially.
come on, I'll just take it. And I probably made good money out of it, having it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's a lot of directors though that like did some naughty things with that money.
I could not possibly comment.
Do you know what I mean? There was a lot of stuff done.
I knew people, or I heard of people who were literally setting up companies, taking the full 50, liquidating, buying property.
Then you could do it. It was easy to do. I mean, I didn't do that.
We're not condoning this, by the way.
This is fraud, HMRC. If you're listening,
Yes,
I've
it is
paid my
fraud,
bill.
We would
and
never.
It will catch up with you.
Yeah, it will. So,
Yeah.
I mean, what's your, if you've got anything other than the kind of major, I guess, the regular networking events that you run, do you do like a big one every now and then, or is it like...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we like a big bash, actually. So I also have another networking group called the Property Development Forum.
Yeah, I saw that on your
Which
LinkedIn,
That, again, came back. That just didn't fall into my lap. I mean, I used to go to it, and the guy who owned it was a really good friend of mine. He got burnt out in January last year. Someone said, Tony wants to talk to you. So I spoke to him. And he went, John, I need a break. I'm just leaving everything. And I went, what about PDF? And he went, because it's really established.
Yeah.
And he went, no, I don't want it. I'm going to walk away. And I went, Kim runs it with you or helps you. Doesn't want it. And I went,
That's strange though, isn't it?
yeah, it's terrible. And I went, okay, listen, at the risk of being opportunistic, I can take it from you and keep it alive.
Yeah.
And he went, God, I was hoping you'd say that. And I went, okay. I said, I'm really thinking on my feet now. I said, Tony, listen, if I do, and I'm going to sleep on it, I won't roll it in Samphire. I'll keep it totally separate.
Yeah, that's
makes
good of you,
sense.
yeah.
And he went, okay. I said, let me sleep on it. And I found my accountant and went, Lucy, I'm thinking of acquiring this company, and I think I want to keep it separate from Samphire. And she went, why do you want to keep it separate? And I went, great question.
Part 2, coming up next week.
So you've got years of experience of networking, but the practical skills of it as well.
And sometimes you meet people and it's just visceral. You're just hackles go. And I just thought, they hadn't even opened their mouths. I just thought,
Yeah, you don't even know what it is, but you're like, no, there's something.
And you always have to trust your gut.
Yeah.
Always. And you will have heard this, people by people.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I always go, not strictly true, people by people. They like, I can name names, but no. And we have 3 piles: keep, discuss, chuck. Are you threatening us? And you go, no, we're educating you.
Yeah.
And I said, and what happens is people go, God, John, you've got such a good memory. And I go, no, I cheat. I knew you were going to be here. I looked at my notes. I'm very upfront about it.
Yeah.